What's up, guys? This is Mark here, the world's strongest man. You're listening to Bob Culture Podcast.
Hello, I'd like to welcome you to paradise, where everyone is riding on a satellite, sending signals, praying for miracles. We should have seen this coming. Hear me out, because I'm only gonna say this one more time. Hear me out, and open your eyes and take a look at all the signs. You think I'm crazy, but I'm not the only one. Call me crazy. I've been thinking maybe we are not alone. Call me crazy. I've been thinking lately, it's been the same way all along.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
No, you do this every month, and I don't understand how you don't learn by now. Did you not see the tweet, the Facebook post, the IG? You didn't even plug the IG post. I was kind of offended. You know, the drums could have waited for you to plug the IG post. Drums could have waited because, guys, do you know, this is historic. This is our first Kimmy Takeover AEW episode. You should be bowing down to me, Rob. I'm saving your ratings by the minute. You're welcome.
That's fair.
You know, we can't have Mike here anymore. I beat him in the wager last month. He's out of here for the time being. But we are here. Welcome to the Kimmy Takeover episode. I'm really excited. I have lots of surprises, as you can see, so I'm not going to keep y'all waiting. We're going to do those intros right now. So first off, we have a BCP OG. From the pop break, he makes the best brisket in the world. That has been, it's a thing. It's Matt Wittes. Hi.
Hey, best brisket outside of Texas. Great to be on again. I got time to plug two worthy causes real quick here.
Let's do it.
Do your thing.
All right. The first one, this was brought to my attention by wrestling historian, associate producer of The Wrestler and the documentary 350 Days. You see him on a lot of documentaries, Evan Ginsberg. One of his fellow historians, Jim Phillips. He's a lifelong member of the Cauliflower Alley Club. He's a contributor to Pro Wrestling Stories. Apparently he had emergency spinal surgery not that long ago. As a result, they said he was very lucky to be alive if he had waited any longer to go in. Since then, he's been paralyzed from mid back down. He's managed to get a little toe wiggling in, which is a good sign. But they're telling him, hey, in 12 weeks to 12 months, it could be a lot better. It might never get better. So apparently he's a very proud guy. He has waited till he's exhausted his personal savings. But there's a GoFundMe going up for him now to be able to fit his household with chairlift and other amenities for his limited mobility now and maybe forever. I've given Rob the URL for the GoFundMe. You can put that around in his down the description.
Just posted it in the comments for everybody.
It goes in the comments. And the second one, my local area lost a local hero, local legend, gone way too soon this week. Guy Tommy George, prominent local family. Throughout all his accomplishments athletically, in the business and finance world, father, husband, all these other things he's done. One thing that was close to his heart was an organization called Rally Cap Sports. They directly impacted his nephew, DG, who was born with developmental disabilities. It is a volunteer-based organization. They're in 8 states, 39 different locations, and their whole thing is helping kids with disabilities experience sport. Awesome. I volunteered with Special Olympics in the past, and the thing is that doesn't reach everybody, or it doesn't. It's not something that works for everybody. this is pretty much it's a 3-to-2 volunteer to athlete ratio, and they do some amazing things, letting kids experience just playing ball, things that a lot of us take for granted. So that's also in there.
Awesome, man.
Yes.
Thank you for that, man. We posted the links in the comments for everybody.
I realize
check
not everybody's in a position where we can give, but if you can't give, just grab that URL, post it somewhere. We all got social media. Every little bit helps.
Yes, so make sure the links are down there. So make sure you donate to that. And our second guest, I'm so excited he's here. He's doing back-to-back podcasts to be here. For me, not Rob, for me. He is from the Mr. Warren Hayes Show, and he's one of literally the smartest people I know ever. It's Warren Hayes.
Jeez, you don't know a lot of people then, Kimmy, do you? Jeez, Louise. But thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here on the big Kimmy takeover. Rob, who? Right? This is where we're at right now. I'm fine with this.
We should make that a t-shirt. You know what, Rob? Since you have yet to make me the Kimmy takeover shirt, we're making the Rob Who shirt. And guys, Rob's here. He hosts the BCP. Hi.
Yeah, I do stuff. Yeah. Kimmy, great job taking over. Let's do this AEW picks. And thank you guys for making the time. I'm very excited.
Well, before we get there, we have to thank our wonderful sponsors. So, Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore, located in Englishtown, Flea Market, New Jersey, and online. And they were also at Goddesses of War this past weekend, so I actually got to meet them in person, which was really cool. And please welcome in our new March, April sponsor. We love new sponsors. Hi, welcome. Glad to see you all here. So, sponsor Intense Wrestling Alliance. The IWA presents the Season 2 of Intensely Live on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, and don't forget Saturday, April 22nd, so that's after Mania, people. IWA presents Mayhem in Nutley, New Jersey, featuring Osito, Brandon Downey, Rey Calitri. That is not how you say that, but you know what? We're going to go with it. Daniel Alexander, PJ Savage, and some vicious activity with Vicious Vicki.
Get your stuff in. That was a good read. You do that better than I do. Good job.
Because when we did our pregame show that we got approved from ESPN, I had to read the billboards, so I just know how to do the billboard voice really well. Great job, Kimmy. Real quick, I want to shout out Parker Kane Promotions, rocking this. Thanks for watching. David Gold from WrestleBash. I think WrestleBash 23 is coming in. Now we got all the shameless promo out of the way. Bills are paid. Let's do it. All right, so we're going to talk about Revolution because it's our first AEW pay-per-view of the year. Hell yeah, let's go. And we're going to talk about a really interesting match that is a must-win for this trios tag team. Because if they don't win, why did they re-sign with AEW? And that is The Elite versus the House of Black. And Matt, I'm going to go to you first. Who do you have in this match?
Given what you have said right there, I'm saying it's going to be The Elite. No, you know what? There's a lot of things going on. You know, the House of Black, pretty much all of them have just re-signed not that long ago, in the last couple of months, if not the last couple of weeks. There's questions about what Kenny Omega's contract situation is at the moment. I don't think they're done having fun. I don't think they're done having fun yet. I think Kenny, Matt, and Nick, they're still at it.
I didn't think we were gonna. Wow. You know what? That's okay. Cause you know someone's gonna agree with me. I don't know who it is. Rob, I know you're not gonna agree with me, but just go ahead. Agree with Matt. Say the Elite's gonna win. I know that's what you're gonna do.
Well, let's be real. You know, Matt, we go back from the grassroots of the BCP, man. Back in the day, BCP OG, man. We grew up together, man. You know, his cousin's my best friend in the world. All right? But, you know, that being said, got to be impartial. Can't pick with your heart here. But I am going to pick the Elite. I am going to pick the Elite here. Right. And Kimmy, you do bring up some very good points, man. Big Malachi fan over here. I think the match itself is great. To me, and I don't want to jump the gun here, but I feel like a lot of the build for this hasn't been my favorite. That being said, the show itself, the wrestling, I'm going to be dead wrong. It's going to be an awesome show. It's going to be a great event. Just some of the build to this felt kind of like forced. It's almost like it's a really bad analogy, but like I don't know if you guys ever watched like 30 Rock, and like the humor's so quick and fast, and like you have to be like really like on your toes to keep up with it, man. And I feel like that's how some of the build has been for some of this. It almost feels like they're just trying to fit everything into this 2 hours or 1 hour they have. And I feel like this was pretty much like the whole, lights out person. I did it at an indie show during an interview the other day. Like, the lights out, the guy's there, then the lights out and he's gone. Like, which is perfect for them. It's cool. We don't need to do these big mic promos. The match is going to be awesome. And I hate to be like, oh, it's too soon for them to lose the belt kind of thing. But there's so many other things that could possibly be emotion here. My personal opinion, and again, like I don't want to jump the gun or get into theories, but I feel like a lot of people are getting on the like, oh, is so-and-so coming back? And I'm not saying he is or isn't, but I feel like it's almost like that court of public opinion, like we're testing the waters to see kind of a thing. And if that were to be the case, there's an easy, and again, I don't want to do the fantasy booking, but there's an easy matchup you could make from that. So just based on all of those things, I'm going to say the Elite retain.
I don't like how this is starting out. I don't like it. Warren changed their minds. You know what to do.
Listen. First of all, Rob, you call it an easy match to make, right? It is the money match. I know what match you're talking about, and it is like if that doesn't happen, that's just a bunch of children who do not like to make money who decided to not make that happen. Anyway, but to get back to the matter at hand. Now, Kimmy, thank you so much for having me on the show.
Oh, no. There's no way.
But I'm going to go with this, okay? Here's what I'm going to go with. Because, like Rob said, build was a little, whatever it was, right? At the same time, it's like, look, if you just take the title matches, this is going to be like the 5th title match from the top. Do you need an invested build for the 5th title match on your card, right? Like maybe not. Anyway, the point being here, I think the Elite is going to retain, but one thing that I've noticed with Tony Khan's booking on pay-per-views is that he sometimes uses pay-per-view matches to kick off stories, to kick off angles, to kick off feuds. His most recent example, the Elite and Death Triangle, right? So I'm thinking whatever happens here, we're not done. Like this is just, it's the opening salvo to something that might go down a few months, a few weeks. We're still going to have great dynamites before we get to Double or Nothing. What are we talking about? So, I'm excited for this match regardless. My expectations are unjustifiably high. Like I'm putting so much pressure on these dudes to deliver, but it's just 6 extraordinary pro wrestlers in this match. Like, if it's not match of the year, I'm going to be slightly disappointed. Slightly.
Oh, just slightly? I think my match of the year right now is Mercedes versus Kairi Sane. I mean, come on, people.
Which was fantastic. Absolutely.
Yes, Matt.
I just wanted to add in, not only does the Elite retain, I think it's going to be Dominic's brother-in-law / step poppy that eats the pin. Of a Melton Driver. Okay. Going with that.
Oh, okay.
That's great. That's fantastic.
And I was like, what? Oh, okay.
Buddy Matthews, in case no one got that. It's Buddy Matthews. Okay, so
you know what I'm excited for? Really quickly, I'm excited for Kenny Omega and Buddy Matthews to be face to face, and I hope they do the Spider-Man point at each other. That's what I'm excited to see.
Yes,
I know a lot of people that want that one-on-one match. It just hasn't happened yet, and they've gotten so upset. And I'm like, well, the House of Black doesn't really wrestle on AEW TV, so sad face. So if you couldn't tell, I'm picking the House of Black because I know, right? I can't believe it either. So I'm picking the House of Black because like I said, this is a must win for them. I mean, I feel like the trios titles were introduced for this team because they left for a period of time. Everyone was unhappy. Then, oh my God, they came back. And of course, like this was supposed to happen, I think, right after All Out before that brawl out type thing that happened in Chicago with some muffins and there was a dog. I don't really know what really happened there, but House of Black is winning. And if I'm wrong, then I don't know why they re-signed. But you know what? I hope this match kicks off the show because that'll be a pretty good opener. We can all agree on that. Awesome.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
So,
That's how you
so
start
now-
the show.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
right? Right.
You start the show with a banger, and that's going to be a banger.
Our next match, I don't really know if it's a banger because I just feel like it shouldn't be a triple threat. It should be a one-on-one. The fact that it is a triple threat kind of breaks my heart a little bit. It is the AEW Women's Championship. We got Jamie Hayter against Saraya, against Ruby Soho. Rob, who do you got?
This is a little tricky. Real quick, just looking at the chat. Welcome, Lawrence, watching from Australia. That's mad cool. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Man, this is another one, man. I hate to be like the negative dude, but like we're always so positive. The build for this one, man, real clunky, man. I like all these talents. Again, felt kind of rushed. Almost like people stepping over each other at certain times, and I don't think it created kind of like the tension or like the awkward, like mix up in the factions that they may have been going for. Too many moving pieces, I feel. I don't know who I want to root for as just like a fan watch. Like I know all these people from their like resumes and watching them every week, but like I don't really know what the story is here. It felt kind of rushed and probably because they should be given more time for certain, but it just felt very rushed, clunky, a lot of stepping over each other. Who was it? Britt who had the interaction was with Toni Storm at the last. I'm trying to think. There's just like a lot of moving parts here. I don't want to be like, oh, Britt's gonna take on Toni Storm. We see Britt in interviews kind of talking about Mercedes. I think that's, money, no pun intended whatsoever. It would be cool to see Ruby get this, man. She has been like the consistent runner up, like through her whole career. She didn't even hold the NXT Women's Gold, correct?
No, she held no gold in WWE.
Yeah, none, right? So she was my pick to win the TBS tournament when it started. This would, again, like, I don't know. It would be really cool to see her win this. I'm just going to, go with the safe bet. I'm going to go Jamie Hayter to retain, man.
So here's ready. I got this.
Please.
Rob, this is going to lead to the first ever Women's Blood and Guts. That is what this is all culminating to. And so we have the freelancers who are Toni Storm and Saraya. That's your heel team. And you have Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter having this face team. And they're like, we're the OGs. We've been here since day one. Who are these people from WWE trying to come in? And Ruby has to pick a side because, Ruby and Britt have the history. But, Saraya and Toni have been beating her down, the spray paint, so heel. But Ruby's going to be a freelancer too because she came from that other company as well. She's not an OG. She's a heel. You see, she's trying to trick Britt because Britt has been the master of the mind games in the women's division, but they're going to shock you. So I don't think this should be a triple threat. I thought it would be easier if it was Ruby and Jamie and then Saraya tried to help Ruby out. And that's how that's how Ruby makes her decision because no matter what happens, she's going to make her decision this weekend. But we have the triple threat match. So there goes my brilliant idea. Jamie is going to win. But at the end, you're going to see Saraya just beating Jamie down, and then Ruby's going to join her, and that's going to be your heel team. And then somebody, maybe Willow, maybe Nyla, maybe that other person that beats me up very often named Thunder Rosa. I'm just saying maybe. I don't think it's going to be her either, but I can't think of another person at the face off the top of my head that's not hurt right now, is going to then come out.
Stat?
And, I don't think she's cleared. She's going to be there.
I have no clue.
Because she's at the bowling event, but I don't think she's cleared. And then at some point after Double or Nothing, we're going to get this beautiful Blood and Guts match. So Jamie Hayter will be retaining. Matt, what do you think?
I'm going to add in with the Hayter crew. I've got the cap off my Haterade. I'm taking a big long drink of that. And it is. She's and this is going to be a theme, I think, throughout the night. She's the person who's becoming established. I mean, We all know who she is. She's a champion. She's been there. But like Saraya, her star has already gone Nova before she ever stepped foot in AEW. Ruby, I feel like, she hasn't ever won gold. I'm not saying she's not that caliber. She certainly is. But like, she almost seems like one of those people that doesn't really need it. She's going to sell merch and get the pop without a belt. Jamie Hayter is becoming Jamie Hayter. And she's just about there. A decent enough run with this title is going to be what does it.
See, I love people agreeing with me. There we go. Warren, you were nodding your head. You see the vision. You see the blood and guts match. Finish my vision. Agree with me again.
I'm going to agree on multiple levels, actually, because I think the three-way stinks. I think, like Rob said, I think the build stinks. The only connecting tissue that makes this great is Jamie Hayter, because she is fantastic. She is one of the top 3 women professional wrestlers in North America today. She is absolutely outstanding, and she should not lose the title here in any way, shape, or form. That would be ridiculous. I am a little low on Saraya right now, and it bums me out because I don't want to. But I think there's all sorts of circumstances and stuff happening, and I don't want to go 20 minutes on this. I could. That's the thing. I've done it on my show, but I don't want to do it here. I'm a guest. So being a good guest, I'm going to continue agreeing with Kimmy. And instead, but even go a step further. This is what I think would be, maybe the part where I don't exactly. I'd see another path for Ruby, because you said it yourself, right? She's come from the place that shall not be named, that they can't use. They can't say the letters on TV. But what if Ruby, does side with the AEW OGs? Because, as you said, she's never won any gold in WWE. She was never given any real opportunities. She was just tossed out there and lost matches. And finally divests herself of Vince McMahon's land of big men and heads over to AEW. And suddenly she's got opportunities. She's fighting for titles. She's in tournaments. She's winning stuff. So maybe, and this would be honestly really great for crowd reaction, where she cuts this kind of promo where she says, I may come from the other place, but my heart is with AEW. Place comes unglued. Instant baby face. I got goosebumps thinking about it right now. I think it'd be great. But as far as look, I hate multi-person matches for titles. I think build a challenger. Just build a challenger for the champion. One, that's all it has to be. So I'm already bummed out because of that. I think the build stinks, but Jamie Hayter's great, and she'll make things happen. I'm with you. Ruby, Jamie Hayter, that's really what we needed. I don't know why anyone else is shoehorned into this. I really don't.
Because they were building to that too. They were building to the one-on-one match for the longest time, and then they announced Saraya was in it, and I was like, "Why is this happening?"
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I wish I could.
Tony Khan. And the other thing I will say really quickly is I don't want to hear shit about Britt anymore because of the interview she did today, where she literally represented AEW so beautifully, especially talk about the brawl out, talking about how she wants to put Jamie on a pedestal and how much Jamie deserves this. So for those who talk shit about Britt, screw you.
I don't understand.
Have to say that.
I have never understood why Britt Baker gets so much.
Yeah, is that a thing? Like,
yes.
Yeah. Huh.
It's a real thing. Do you know how much
I don't understand
I get for like cheering on Britt and like supporting Britt all the time? I get it at conventions all the time. Why do you like Britt? You like Britt because you work with her? No, because she's a hard worker.
She's very talented, yeah.
And she's a role model. But next we're going to talk about another match. And this one makes sense a little bit. I mean, I would have rather had like Daniel Garcia in here again. We're keeping Daniel Garcia off the card. No, because it would have made so much sense. Like we've seen this match already. But we have Chris Jericho and Ricky Starks, and the JAS is banned from ringside. Ricky Starks by the end of 2023 will hold gold. I don't know what title, but he's going to hold gold. That's my year prediction for Ricky Starks. He showed at the end of 2022 that he could be in that main event spotlight. He could deliver a good promo. Cody Rhodes taught him oh so well. And, he supported him at the Royal Rumble too. So best friend goals. So I'm going with Ricky Starks. Warren, what do you think? I'll go back to you. Go.
Where are we going? Who'd you say, Kimmy?
Warren.
Oh, okay.
I said we're going back.
Oh, I'm sorry, and it sort of cut out. I apologize. I didn't want to create. No, I love this, and I love what they've been doing with Ricky Starks. I don't know what to add here. Ricky Starks is fantastic. I think he has to pull out a win here, but I think the thing that everyone is very worried about is the fact that very specifically the JAS is banned from ringside, right? Could Chris Jericho, the mastermind, be up to something else? Could he have someone else up his sleeves, so on and so forth? The thing, though, that in AEW, there isn't really, especially on the pay-per-views, there isn't really much interference, right? Or outside interference shenanigans that weigh into the decisions of matches. It doesn't happen all that often. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's not necessarily a constant thing. However, the JAS are the sports entertainers, and the sports entertainers cheat to win. That's their thing. So, there might be an exception here, but if you're asking me, and of course you are, because you pointed to me and I didn't hear you at first, but I'm trying to make up for it now. I would go for, I think Ricky Starks should win because his star is on the rise. I think he beats Chris Jericho, moves on to something else. I think this is what we need to do. We need a break from the JAS stuff. I think it worked perfectly. Ricky Starks elevated on TV every week, working with one of the greatest of all time. It's fantastic. Let's continue down his upward trajectory. Ricky Starks for the win.
Exactly. And I blame my campus Wi-Fi for cutting out because it sucks. Matt.
Ooh.
Exactly. Matt, what do you think?
Well, it just seems like all the cool kids are doing it, so I'm going to do it too. I'm going with my man, Absolute Ricky Starks. This is something, they put him in the program with MJF there not too long ago. He was able to hold his own, actually more than. So he's kind of proving that he is that caliber. This is the stepping stone. This is what's going to put him into that upper echelon and to stabilize him there. And getting it at, getting the rub from Chris Jericho, that's going to do it for anybody. It's certainly
fantastic.
Ricky Starks.
I'm going to take a bet right now that Rob is somehow going to pick Chris Jericho.
I mean, it's a tricky one. It's conflicting. I really got to think about it. I'm going to go.
Never do that again.
I'm not cool. My mom says I'm cool. I think what do you gain from Jericho winning here, right? It's like what Warren said, like move on to the next thing. He's kind of been entangled with JAS for a while. Let's move on to the next thing. Ricky, I mean, up and comer. I'm not an up and comer, but on the rise, I should say. At Baltimore, we talked to him a little bit before the fans came in, and he was just like, we loved this promo after Grand Slam. We got to say, like, hey, it was very emotional. It was so cool because he was saying how, like, what was it, the first Grand Slam, he had to kind of watch from behind the curtain, and this time he was a big part of it, and he had that promo after it went off the air, like, very emotional. He was in tears, and we were just like, we love what you're doing. It's, like, so cool to see you be able to do that, man. And he was just a really chill guy, very appreciative of the opportunity. I think consummate professional, man. Great promo. Like, I'm not telling you guys anything you don't already know. It's got to be Ricky.
We all agree.
Yes.
Lots of fun.
There is a case to be made for Chris Jericho and continuing the feud on, but I really feel like I'm a big believer in wins mattering, and wins do matter when it comes to pushes, and Ricky beat him clean, let him beat him clean again, and it's just like, this is decisive. Let's just move on. and it shows that, the booker has the kids back. This is my star. This is the guy I want you to like. Cody hasn't lost much in WWE. I don't know if you've noticed, right? Look at what's happening to him right now, right? It's the same type of situation. Push the guy, make him feel special, and people will get behind him. Ricky Stark, his ceiling is world champion. And I sincerely believe that. Pull the trigger on it sooner than later.
Well, I mean, see my like long prediction, like Adam Cole's got to hold that title, right? And then Ricky, like, it's got to go MJF, Adam Cole, Ricky Starks. That's the prediction. And speaking of titles, we have to talk about the King of Television. Because for the love of God, he just put him in Ring of Honor. Just put him, let him go, let him to pay tribute to that company he got his start in. And that's Samoa Joe versus Wardlow. And I will say that promo that he cut with JR, like JR needs to do more of those. Like the backstage thing, that was great. Do more, JR.
He's fantastic.
I know. And you know where you could see him?
I do,
at
actually.
Baltimore Celeb Fest 7. 7, that's right. We're up to 7. My God, that means we're old.
Did we sell out, Warren? It feels like we sold out a little bit.
No, what are you talking about?
It's like our 8th plug.
I'm sorry. So, Samoa Joe versus Wardlow. The TNT title is the only title on the line, not the TV title. Some people might get confused, so we got to emphasize this to the universe. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, this is Wardlow. We all love Joe. Joe is fantastic. He's been a good champ. I think we're all pretty much sure that he wasn't supposed to be champ this long. So Wardlow is back. He is healthy. He is good to go. This is where he comes back in. This is I'm not going to say it's Greg Valentine, Tito Santana, but this is a flop back and forth. Who's going to be the champ? They've both done it. This is going to cement it. This is Samoa Joe just saying, "Go get him, kid. It's your time now."
And then Joe goes on to Ring of Honor. We do so many great things. If you didn't check out Ring of Honor episode 1, please do that. It was phenomenal. That's the only thing I'll say about it. Rob, please tell me you're picking Wardlow.
Yeah, real quick, welcome Wayne in the chat, Bubba John in the chat, Reese in the chat saying, I like Hobbs winning Face of the Revolution because he has unfinished business with both men. It leaves the result unpredictable. Interesting, very interesting. For me, got to be War Dog over here, Wardlow, because it's interesting, the Samoa Joe thing. First of all, like Matt said, Samoa Joe is just consistently killing it, man. I love that he's holding 2 titles. I feel like in a lot of these I can say pay-per-view, right? These pay-per-views that in a lot of these pay-per-views that I don't want to say Tony, but the booking is basically like there's the one match where like everyone's just way off. Like it was a triple threat. Yeah, I think it was, what was it, Full Gear? I believe that I was in attendance, and that was the New Jersey one, right?
Yes.
Thank you, Kimmy. I'm glad you know my life. So it was a triple threat, and I don't think anyone saw Joe winning that, like, completely out of left field. So I feel like I'm kind of under this impression like every pay-per-view is going to have just like that left field title change or something like that. We'll talk about that later, hopefully. But I just don't see, and I love what Joe's doing. If he didn't lose it, I wouldn't be upset. He's killing it. He's making everyone look good. His matches with Darby, I think he had 2, like, in the past 6 months. 3. There you go. They've all been great. He's killing it. I could just sit here praising Joe, but Wardlow has had this great momentum. He's been away for 4 weeks, just had an excellent interview on Busted Open. They talked a lot about that promo with JR. Very, very real story about losing his dad and seeing his dad and the last thing he said to his dad and all that stuff. It's very inspiring. I think this is where you do pull the trigger to put the title back on him, but it's one of those things too where I think like with that TNT title comes kind of like that, and this is cliche, and you shouldn't think this way. You should think more outside the box, that like inaccessibility to the world title. So that's something I think about too. But I think in this particular situation, for the time being right now, with everything going on and all the moving parts, I think it goes back to Wardlow here.
Smart. Warren, finish us out. Agree.
Wardlow's interview that he did with JR blew my mind, because we saw in that interview Wardlow flexing his star power, which we had not seen him do. He was eloquent, charming, relatable, just well-spoken, well-presentable. I was looking at that and I was like, there you go. This is what we needed for the Wardlow thing. Like, he's not just a meathead, you know? That interview, like, I ranted and raved about that interview because I thought it was fantastic. And then next thing you know, AEW puts out a press release saying, hey, AEW All Access backstage show starring Britt Baker and her boyfriend and the Bucks and Eddie Kingston and Wardlow. So I'm like, I see what you're doing here, Tony Khan, you silly guy. You think you were going to slip one past me? I think our boy Wardlow is going to pick up the title, and much to a lot of people's chagrin, I think he's going to hang on to it for a while here, especially if this All Access show kicks off, and especially if he's anything close to personable as he was during that JR interview. That was bananas good. I completely discovered something that I was not expecting in that regard. So yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. And you know what I hope the match is? I hope it's an 8-minute sprint of two guys mashing their WWE 2K finishers at each other. That's what I want. Okay. That's what I want out of this match. Nothing else. I'm super excited for it.
Human Demolition Derby.
Exactly.
Thor versus Hulk.
Yes. Well, I mean, we need a quick match. We have a 60-minute Iron Man match to look forward to. You know what's a match that I'm not looking forward to? And it got added actually got added officially this morning, because this feud is dragged out for a year. I think it's been a year. Jack Perry versus Christian Cage.
What?
You're
not excited for this?
No.
What? Kimmy.
Yes. It's not going to be good. Like,
I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not.
No, I'm not. I'm really not looking forward to the match.
He is not being
like, okay, this feud is dragged out for what? When did Christian get hurt? Like, Double or Nothing, right? And that was in May. It's March. That's like 9 months that this feud. And I understand.
The guy was hurt.
I know.
I mean, the guy was hurt.
Well, put a Band-Aid on it. You're okay.
Oh my God.
We have other things to do. Jungle Boy has other things to take care of. But no, we're stuck in 2022. We have this match. Jungle Boy better win, and this match better be a 5-minute squash. I don't care if Christian is like a wannabe Hall of Famer over here, but no. Goodbye. Rob, I don't know why you're looking at me really confused. I'm scared.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
Real quick, just reading the chat. Welcome in Chris and Ashley. Wayne in the chat saying, honestly thought that Jack in the graveyard was bearing his Jungle Boy gimmick to be full-blown Jack Perry. Oh, I don't want to steal anyone's thought. I was just reading here. Interesting. I'll let you take the lead on that for sure, man. I was just going to say, I get what you're saying, Kimmy. I'm not thrilled about this one. You guys both bring up great points, because it's like, it makes sense. Like, this is the guy who cost him, or, you know, has been his rival. It makes sense for them to kind of finish this thing. But there's been such a disconnect from the time period. What was he doing? Jungle Hook and stuff like that. In the meantime, it's almost put so far to the wayside. Again, there's so many moving parts and fast moving things in AEW. Sometimes it's hard to keep up. The roster's so huge, you know, it's hard to keep the spotlight on everybody and certain storylines. So I feel like this kind of fell to the wayside a little bit. It's going to be a good match. Jungle Boy always looks great, has great matches. Christian knows what he's doing. He's going to be good, you know, fundamentals and base for him. They're going to hit their spots. I think just Jungle Boy just wins here just to kind of put a pin in it. No pun intended.
5-minute squash. I'm telling you. Warren, go.
Christian Cage and Jungle Boy, they have built this feud perfectly since his surprise return with minimal effort, and then goes on Dynamite on Wednesday, Christian Cage does a phenomenal promo, phenomenal. And the audience is in there and they want to set him on fire. They're so mad at him. Like, he is fantastic. What really needs to happen here is Jungle Boy Jack Perry winning the match so that we can move on for Jack Perry, because yes, he's been earmarked for a singles run for a bit. But for Christian Cage too, this promotion right now is lacking in top level heels. It really is. And Cage right now is doing some of the best mic work of his entire career. Even years ago when this feud was starting, right, Kimmy?
Thank you.
He was doing these insanely great, vicious, visceral promos on Jungle Boy and his family and his mother, and everyone was like, what? It was fantastic stuff week after week. And he comes back. It's the first promo he's cut since returning, and he just tore the house down. This match is going to rule. It was fired up perfectly. But I do hope we move on for both guys' sake. And I swear, like, if you were to ask me, Warren, yes, what would you do with Ricky Starks after he beats Chris Jericho? Oh, thank you for asking. I would send him up against Christian Cage, because I think that feud would absolutely destroy it. It'd be great.
I see that. I like that. I like you acknowledging that this happened years ago, like last year. I appreciate that. Matt, what do you think?
You know what? There's two reasons you have a no holds barred match, which are never 5 minutes. Okay. There's two reasons.
Good point.
One is to draw people in, because it's already dramatic. Gosh, what could happen? And mind you, if you've been watching wrestling for the past 20 years, you've already seen everything that could possibly happen. But you want to see that it's dramatic. It brings people. The other reason you have it is because it's not a clean fight. Whoever wins, whoever loses, it's not clean, because at some point, somebody's getting beat with a crutch or a kendo stick or a trash can or set on fire, depending on where you're at, such as in the video game that they're making. And it's been a long time coming, but it hasn't been a long time active, this feud. If this is the blow-off, if this is the end, it's Jungle Boy going forward, but I think they might want to try and get another month or two out of this.
Wow.
I think they're going with Christian Cage.
Wow. Interesting.
I don't like it. I don't like it. That if that happens, I'm blaming you. Did you just manifest that into the universe?
That's 75% of the way reason why I answered the way I did, folks.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Unbelievable. Y'all don't see the vision. But I do see the vision of this next match being carnage and blood. Like, everything you want, Matt, in this no holds barred match is going to happen in the Texas Death Match. I know the two of them can get a little confusing, but everything you want is going to happen in this match. And I also want an explanation as to why this match is not happening in Texas, but it's called a Texas Death Match. We could have had like a California beatdown, like play on the fact that you're in California. I was a little thrown off by that, but you know what, Tony Khan, you do you. Because we got Jon Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page. And Jon Moxley's promo this past Wednesday was absolutely amazing. If you didn't see it, go watch it. Warren, who do you think is going to win this match?
Hangman Adam Page, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be a great bloody brawl. It's going to be an incredible war. This is everything. Honestly, this is everything I love about pro wrestling. This is what I love about pro wrestling. and Jon Moxley cutting a bloody promo in a neon lit staircase in the venue. It's like he's hearkening back to his CZW days. I was like, this is fantastic. And he's bleeding so much it's pooling on the cement. Like Jon Moxley was my favorite wrestler of 2022. Anyone who cared to ask was like, who was your wrestler of the year? It's Jon Moxley, because there's no one who represents pro wrestling to me more than he does. And he was the MVP for his company the entire year. Like he was there throughout it all. And now we're getting to and what I love most about this feud, like when I tell you this is everything that I love about pro wrestling. Extremely unfortunate incident, the concussion. No one wants that. That's horrible. But the best thing about pro wrestling is taking something that is unfortunate, flipping it around and making gold out of it. Or as some people like to say, making money out of it, because this is what this feud has been. It has been nothing but perfect, this entire build. And these guys, within 6 months, have fought 3 times, and we're going for round 4, and we're all like hype. We're like, let's do this. Let's fucking go. And that is the mark of a great pro wrestling build. When you're not, instead of going around a 4th time, you're going, number 4. It's like, that's amazing. I'm so stoked for this match. It's going to be so ridiculously brutal. Adam Page has to come out of this one. And I think Jon Moxley is going to do the right thing here, which is put the guy over, because Hangman's the ace of AEW. He's the babyface. He's the guy I think we're all suspecting is being heated up for MJF, which makes a lot of sense. And John is going to do the right thing and put him over, make him look like $1 million, and they're going to bleed so much. Jon Moxley, he sneezes and he starts bleeding. It's like Renee must hate having dinner parties. Where it's like he goes, just rubs his head, or it's like, whoops, he drops a canapé on his forehead, and then
I don't know how his forehead is still intact with the amount of blade jobs he's probably done in his entire wrestling career. But you know what?
Paper thin now. Yeah.
Shout out to the doctors that prepare Jon Moxley's head every week. So I think the other key thing to this is that the BCC is turning kind of heel. They showed this multiple weeks on Dynamite. So Page is the face, in case y'all got confused. I think Hangman Adam Page needs this. I think 2023 is really going to be the year where he shows out, and this is the start of that. So I'm picking Hangman Adam Page. Matt, what do you think?
Everything Warren said. First of all, years ago, I was in a head-on collision. Both, all airbags deployed on both vehicles. I didn't bleed as much from that as Moxley does on a random Wednesday. So this is going to be, it's going to be a killer. It's the history of Texas death match, the famous ones with Terry Funk throughout the years. I think they're going for that, despite the fact that Cincinnati versus Virginia and nothing to do with Texas, in California. But
that's what I'm saying.
Fair point.
But yeah, that's it. And let's not forget, Mox's his meet time got cut short last year when he came in on his white horse to save AEW when they needed him most. I think he's gonna take a little time to himself after this. He certainly earned it.
I think it's kayfabe. I think this whole vacation thing is kayfabe. I don't think I don't at this point. I don't believe it ever did exist.
For him, getting smashed in the face with broken glass is a vacation. It's his thing. It's what he likes. Again, why his forehead doesn't look like New Jack's then or now, I have no idea. But yeah, Adam Page, his run at the top last time was that also was cut short, not for bad reasons, but they were real life reasons. And this is getting back to where they want to be, for him to be their ace, for him to be their golden boy. And when we talk about the next match, that's the big reason why they're going with Hangman Adam Page.
Yes. And I will also say, too, since this is Texas Deathmatch, please let him come in on a horse. Like, it's just a big fight feel. Let him come in on his horse, you know? The last time we saw it was when he won the title. So, full circle moment. Okay, Rob, who you got?
Man, it's funny in the chat. Oh, we got a run in.
This is so perfect timing.
gotta run
in my soul. Holy shit, I'm not Cody Rhodes. Oh, guys, I just did like a 3-hour podcast. I'm ready to go. What's the first match we're talking about?
Okay,
House
this
of
is
Black?
perfect.
Yes.
No.
We're
this
talking
is
about Terry
perfect.
Taylor and the Fantastics. What's happening, guys?
It's your favorite person in the world.
Oh, Christ, that list is so long and terrible. Who is it?
Hangman Adam Page, Bill.
Oh, so honestly, my favorite person in the entire world. Not like, oh, it's Randy Orton. So everyone else is giving their predictions about what
Except
will be.
for Rob.
Bill, by all means, man.
So he's
you
gonna,
have
don't
the
worry,
floor.
he's going to copy and paste what I said.
Probably.
So
You have
what's
the
going to
floor.
happen is there might be a chance of blood in this match. Slight forecast of blood.
What? So, someone tell Bubba Ray Dudley to not watch the match then.
Oh, boy.
I don't know if you know this about young Bubba Ray Dudley, and I put young in extreme quotes. But he's more over than MJF because people fear him and they don't smile when he comes out, and you know why? Because his matches are all suck. But when you get over when your version of psychology is just using misogyny and homophobia, I'm sorry, you don't know psychology. As Rob's like, there goes my chance of being unbusted open. Anyway, this is how we do it. So Jon Moxley and Hangman Adam Page, pillar to post. It's going to be so much blood. Muda is going to blush and be like, my God, I didn't even do that. But this is going to be great. And I think Moxley is going to win this match because we're going back down the same path with Hangman where it's just like, I've got nothing else. And he's going to be down and out. And what has he got to reclaim? And I think what he has to reclaim is his status in the elite for when and if CM Punk comes back. Because that is the fucking money right there. He is the catalyst for this entire scenario we're in. So let's go bring Hangman back to the glory of being the number one guy. And he has to lose to Moxley to get there. Because every time Hangman says he's at his lowest, Tony Khan's like, no. I'm going to take you lower. And also, it's like fucking Jon Moxley. Why does he have to lose? He's this is his favorite thing. He says he loves to bleed. Let him bleed. Let him bleed all over the place. Come on. It's okay, guys. But yeah, Jon Moxley is going to win this one. Rob, are you going to copy and paste my answer?
I'm going to pick the same winner as you are going to pick. So take that for what you will. A lot of Punk theories in the chat. Very interesting. We'll leave that alone for now. I feel like a lot of the focus is, we've all said something about bleeding in the chat. Over under Mox bleeds in 3 minutes. I love the stuff. This comment busted Moxley open. That always pops me on social media. But very seriously, man, the guy pours his heart and soul and blood into every match. Warren mentioned him being the White Knight, carrying the company on his back. Arguably our 2022 Wrestler of the Year here on the BCP, the Bobbies, if you will. And I just think, it makes all the sense in the world for Adam Page to win in this type of match. And after, like you said, Warren, like a very scary moment. We've seen it here, with people I'm close with here on the Independents, man. Very scary moments, man. That really takes you out of everything. And what do, man? People, they're just like, hey, I want to have this match. I want to finish this match. I want to do this again. Like, so it's sometimes the first thing that comes out of their mouth. And I think that's really, really cool. And it's awesome. It's just like really awesome to see that they're finishing this, and it just makes all the sense in the world for Hangman to win this. Maybe Mox goes on vacation. Maybe the vacation's at work, like you were saying. Makes all the sense in the world for him to win this. I'm not talking world title contender. I'm not talking any of that. It was one of my least favorite world title runs. The build to it was great, but that being said, I just don't see him in that position right after this. I'm looking at a different Adam.
Them's fighting words saying that.
No disrespect, man. Just calling it down the middle. Impartial.
That's no. Impartial would be stating facts. You've stated your opinion. So
Fair
henceforth,
enough. I can't argue with that.
Listen, Ariel Helwani.
Hold on now. Hold on now.
I just
oh boy.
I also, every time I look at Matt Wittes right now, I'm just waiting for him to blade on this podcast because he's got the freshly shaved head, and I'm just waiting for him to bed down. Just come up.
Please
like,
don't do that.
I'll give you $5.
Oh, you're doing that on my Kimmy takeover? This is the Kimmy takeover, not the Bill takeover.
Guys, I just ran in from a 3-hour podcast. I don't even.
And I'm very proud of you. Thank you for making the time to be here, not for Rob, but for the Kimmy takeover. Let that be in
I'm used to
writing.
It.
What's the Jameson to hour ratio?
No Jameson for a year for me, so I'm good, buddy.
Yay!
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Yep. So now we're going to talk about a match that everyone is so angry about on Twitter. This is apparently the worst match in AEW history, if you're going to listen to Twitter. And it's the Fatal 4-Way for the tag team titles, because the AEW tag team division apparently sucks. It's the worst it's ever been in history. That's what Twitter's saying. I'm literally not making this up. Like, my whole Twitter timeline is like, this fucking sucks. And I'm like, y'all don't know how to watch wrestling. So we got the Guns, we got the Acclaimed, we got everyone's favorite Jeff Jarrett, we got Jay Lethal, exactly, Double J, and Orange Cassidy, and Danhausen. Warren, who you got? I'm curious.
I don't care.
How dare you, sir?
Maybe I'm not as I'm not angry at it. I'm like, but like this has all the components to complete. This is not a Warren Hayes match. How about that? The foundations of it all, multi-person matches. I thought we said this with the three-way match. Multi-person matches for titles is, I hate it. I think it's ridiculous. Build a challenger. That's it. And this feud, this thing, then the weeks leading up to it, this is what doesn't make sense. I'll tell you why this doesn't make sense. These are facts, by the way, Bodkin. These are facts.
Well, I know they're coming from you, so.
So the first of
You're
all,
an unbiased journalist.
Journalist. There's three. They decide to make this a three-way, first and foremost. What do the Acclaim do? We're going to cash in our automatic rematch clause to make this a four-way so that there's two other teams on top of this to make it even more complicated for us to get our titles back. That doesn't make sense from the get-go. Second of all, we're having qualifiers to make a four-way. Make qualifiers to get one team. Have a tournament. I don't know. Have a gauntlet. Why are we having qualifiers to add two more teams to this match? None of it makes sense. Build one challenger. It's not hard.
But Warren.
And then on top of that, man, I'm not done. Then on top of that, the Guns stink. All right? Second of all, the Acclaimed ain't for me. It's not my bread and butter. However, I appreciate how over the act is, how hard they work, how they work to get themselves over. And it is undeniable that they are one of the top acts in the company. I understand why you take the belts off of them, because as good baby faces, they should chase the title. I'm absolutely on board with that. But the Acclaimed ain't my cup of tea. Danhausen, Orange Cassidy, what are we even doing? But Jeff Jarrett rules. That's it. Otherwise, I do not care about this match. And I believe this is the first match from an AEW pay-per-view, and I've been racking my brain trying to think of another one where it's just like I really don't care what happens here. And if the match turns up and they surprise me, I will be the first to give it all the flowers and say this match was great. despite the fact that the build was terrible, that I hate the teams, that I hate the situation. Like, despite it all, if it rules, it'll rule. But as it stands, my interest level, 0.
QT Marshall versus Paul White.
And see that? Okay, that's a good challenger right there. Yeah. At least the build made sense. Anyway,
Matt?
Yeah, the question is, what are they doing here? Because everything wants it. This is not a pay-per-view match. This is 3 Rampage matches wearing a trench coat and coming in here. Who needs this? Out of the participants, who needs this? Orange Cassidy and Danhausen don't need this. There's nothing that comes from putting a belt on them. Black Machismo and the Last Outlaw, they're probably wondering what the hell they're even doing there. They
collecting checks and breaking necks, brother.
No, do you know what they got? Do you know what they're doing in there? Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett are in there because, like, all right, it's a 4-way match. We need somebody to direct traffic. Go out there. Help us out. That's what they're doing with that. So the question is, are they trying to make the Guns, or are they trying to just add to the Acclaimed? I think they're adding to the Acclaimed. I think they might have a few more go-arounds with the Guns. The Guns might end up winning by pinning somebody out of the Acclaimed. But I think they're just this is part of just making the Acclaimed, again, one of the bigger parts of AEW, which they're working their ass off to be. So let them have it.
So I think that the Guns are going to retain, and then a certain top team is going to come out, and that's going to be your feud. Because, guys, Dax was fooling you all with that WWE contract. He didn't sign.
I thought it was a coaster. Was it an actual contract? I thought it was just like a WWE coaster he had. No, I'm serious. I love coasters, so.
I think they still get like little royalty checks. I don't know why.
It was a
part of their deal.
Yeah, so I think it was like the envelope, and then he just like put it there. Guys, it's a work. They didn't resign. They're coming back to AEW. They're coming back to work, guys. So that's, I think, where we're heading. Rob, I know this is a lot for you. So did you pick a winner?
Rob works hard.
This is a tough one. I'm a big Acclaim guy, Creative Pro guys. Like Warren said, they made a name for themselves. Like, big fans. What they did is amazing. Our Match of the Year winners was Swerve in Our Glory for 2022. I think they've been great. They've been gold. A lot of people not happy with taking the belts off them, but we understand why. Some people have been saying that was the greatest thing that did happen to them. But Warren, I am a stats guy. I'm an analytics guy. And I love what you said, man. I didn't think of it that way, but it's like we're going to cash in our rematch clause where we have a 25% chance to win. I think that's a very fair point. I'm a numbers guy, man. And I think that's an excellent point, man. And then, we have 2 other teams and all these things. Really fun, over the top rope style matches leading into that. I think the match itself can be really good. Again, maybe too many moving parts. Multi-man matches are typically not my favorite. It really depends. It has to be done a certain way. I think, Matt, you bring up a great point about directing traffic. I think this could be a lot of fun. This could be a really good match. I do not have my finger on the pulse of this one whatsoever. I was kind of leaning towards the Guns retaining, and then when you guys were talking, I'm like, maybe, because the Acclaimed, it's kind of the chase right now, but like, is it, I hate saying this, but is it too soon, right? I want to see them kind of struggle a little bit more. I think this is going to be a really good match. And Kimmy, after listening to all you guys talk, I'm going to go with you. I think this is the Guns retain here, but the FTR or whoever is going to win it on a random Dynamite, on a random Rampage, and that's going to be the end of that.
All right, person that was podcasting for 3 hours and made time to talk about his favorite wrestling company in the world.
So listen, if there's one thing that Tennessee two-step and son of a bitch Jeff Jarrett has done since he's gotten into AEW is deliver. I can't believe it. Jeff Jarrett's been on point, guys. Not only has he got like the whole P90X, dad bod thing going on where he's all like shredded to shit, but I mean, like he's not a dad bod. He's in better shape than me. So it's just like, it's what I'm saying is him and Lethal have been a really, really good team, and like they excel in chaos. And I mean, Memphis wrestling for a lot of it is hot crowd chaos. You also have big match Orange Cassidy, who has not missed really in a match dating back to last year. I mean, since Ospreay, I mean, he pulled a good one out of Big Bill. And I'm not talking about my dad. I'm talking about W. Morrissey. He pulled a great one out of him. Danhausen, I think we're actually going to see Danhausen, the wrestler, in this match. I think we're going to see some stuff. And God damn it, if Tony Khan gets the rights to tequila, he wins Booker of the Year. Fuck you, Triple H, because that is what a good booker does. Anyway, and I think I'll disagree with you, Warren. I think the Guns, while not great, are a way more improved team, and I think they work hard, and they're gonna do all right in this match. I think this is going to cover up their weaknesses, and I think it's a smart move there. And I think that the Guns do retain, and I think the Guns retaining is the right call, because one thing people really criticize AEW for, besides existing, is switching the titles too fast. And I think you want to give the Guns a little more time. I think there's something that could come out. I think the Acclaimed and double Triple J, or whatever the fuck they're calling themselves, is a fun feud that you can keep going with for one more match. A barroom brawl, Memphis style, wouldn't be a bad thing, or a parking lot fight like we had in Jacksonville between Best Friends and LAX. I think you blow that off, but I think FTR eventually comes back, and I think wins it at a big one. I don't think you're going to throw it on the Dynamite from Tuscaloosa. I think you put it at Double or Nothing, because those boys, if Kimmy is correct, and I believe she is, they got their asses paid, so they're gonna want to do it on a bigger stage than random Dynamite. So the Guns take it here.
I mean, I am only right 65% of the time. We've been on record with that.
Not the best number, but okay.
It's passing. C's get degrees in school. 65 is passing. It's okay. Because who needs school? I'm graduating.
Yeah, I won't tell you my GPA was way higher. But anyway, what's the next one?
The main event. We're here. We made it to the 60-minute. This match is going to be really long. My God. Iron Man match. I do commend Tony Khan, because everyone was joking that this card was going to be 10 hours, and thankfully it's not going to be 10 hours because we only have 8 matches. So thank you, Tony Khan, for listening to everybody. It is MJF. It's Bryan Danielson. I really don't want to go first. I'm going to send it to Rob.
Yeah.
All you.
Good. This one, obviously, I think had a solid build. I love that Bryan Danielson had said, like, hey, I'm going to expose you earlier on, like 60 minutes. I think MJF's going to hang, honestly. They're going to hit their spots. They're going to, get through the 60 minutes, but it's not going to waver. It's not going to have a lull. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to keep it going, storytelling, little things. First of all, MJF is going to have some sort of ace up his sleeve, whether it's, the ref being knocked out at the end, someone who he's never worked with or been involved with, or someone coming into the company, because that's his kind of MO. He works with someone, while it's useful, and then, pieces with them, 2 episodes later. It's consistent. I love the fact, and I don't know what's real and what's not in this, but I love the fact that out of nowhere he talked about, losing his I mean, I don't love it, but storyline wise, I love the fact that he talks about losing his fiance. I think that adds a bit of emotion to it. And, we've heard a lot, this past week on, radio and whatnot, that like, oh, he has sympathy, or like people smile when he comes out, or whatever it is. I think it's intriguing, man. I like it when the lines are blurred, personally. He's made the show very entertaining. He's some of my friends' favorite wrestler. It's been very interesting, and I love that they brought that fiance thing into it, man, because that's a man defeated, man. We've all been there, man. it's almost like his kryptonite, man. And I think that brings something to the story. Maybe it almost puts a little bit of doubt within him, for this matchup. So I think, we said it a million times on this podcast, Bryan Danielson is going to make everyone look like gold. He is always putting people over, man. Like always. Like I don't see this being any different. It's going to be a great match. And he's literally not just like, oh, he's going to let MJF retain and and put MJF over. But it's like, this is the big test, man. 60 minutes. Like, let's dance. When we talked to JR, when we were asking advice for independent wrestlers, he's like, can you do 30 minutes of athletic, compelling competition? Not that you have to, but if you are asked to do that, are you able to do that? Well, this is 60 minutes. That's twice that. I'm very interested to see how MJF hangs, and I think he will. I think this is going to be a great match. I just think MJF's going to have some ace up his sleeve. It's going to be like the heel has the upper hand, and then we're still considering Bryan Danielson face, even though we were talking about BCC earlier. Making the comeback kind of the typical Iron Man layout. Then something unexpected or tricky, a little bit of a swerve, where it's like down to the last few seconds and it's just some funny business or some time gets asked, just something we're not thinking of, or someone who MJF's not involved with whatsoever comes out of the left field and it's going to be MJF retaining.
Well, look in my eyes. What do you see?
You
Warren,
think there?
Warren, can you complete my theory as I'm going to you next?
That was very poetic.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. What a great way to throw to an English major. I absolutely adore this feud. I think that it was layered in more ways than a lot of people want to give it credit for or will give it credit for, because MJF. This is the thing: is that MJF, his entire thing is he's insecure. He wants that. He puffs up his chest, right? Like birds do when they see, predators or whatnot. They puff up their chest to make themselves look bigger than they are. And that's always been his thing. That was his thing with CM Punk, and CM Punk called him out on it. It's the same thing with Danielson, but Danielson took it a step further. It's like, it's not just that you're insecure. You're not as good a wrestler as I am, and you're not even close. And I'm going to expose you because you're a fraud. And that was the worst thing you could tell MJF, because he gave us all the sob stories. He gave us, all his tales of injustice when he was in high school and so on and so forth. But that was just to fuck with us. Because ultimately then he tosses it all away. You think maybe he's going to go down the right path with William Regal shaking his cage a little bit, but no, because ultimately, he just wants to win. He wants to feel better than people. That's why he sent his goons after Danielson to work the shoulder. Don't forget the shoulder. The shoulder is going to play a big part in this match. That's why he did that. That's why he paid off people to work at Danielson, and why he's at this spot here. That's why they're talking about his fiance dumping him, because that just adds to that adds on one end to the fact that there's nothing good in this life. And I can't even latch on to someone who I said, I want to have kids with you. I want to build a life with you. All I have is this stupid AEW title. So he's just doubly motivated to try and punk out Danielson, because all he wants is to be able to say, I beat Bryan Danielson. So even if the last fall, the ref is distracted and he pulls out the Dynamite Diamond ring and he just cracks Danielson across the face, and no one sees it, but it doesn't matter, because he will have beaten Bryan Danielson. That's all that matters to him, because that's the only way he can boost himself, lift his ego, stop feeling insecure, stop having people tell him you're not good enough. MJF is a very, very complex, layered heel for pro wrestling, and he is extremely entertaining throughout it all. And of course, he's going to pull out stuff that people are going to be surprised, I'm convinced, at how good he is going to be in this match. Of course, he's being guided along by the greatest North American pro wrestler to ever do it. So, all of the elements to this souffle of violence are there, and it's going to be delectable.
I can't say what happened on Ring of Honor TV because this person could come out here because he called him out on Ring of Honor TV. Oh my God, so angry. But you know what? If you watch Ring of Honor TV, you'll know. So 60 minutes is really hard to do. That's why they don't do it often. This is the third time that AEW, me and Ella researched this is the third time that AEW has done an hour-long match. So it was Grand Slam when they went to the tie. Then it was Hangman Adam Page. And then this one, 3. So to even entertain a crowd for 60 minutes is super hard. And I think with the character MJF has and the wrestling ability that Bryan Danielson has, this is the perfect match to keep people entertained for an hour. I also think it's really interesting that Bryan Danielson said in an interview today that he wanted this to go on first. He doesn't want it to main event. And I was like,
go to bed.
He's an old he's an old dad like us.
So I was like, oh my God, like if they just get it out of the way first and they could like shape the whole pay-per-view, like this would be perfect, but they're not going to do that. Sad face. This is sadly going to main event. But I think MJF is really going to prove here that he's more than just someone who could talk on a microphone. He's a good wrestler because everyone just thinks of it as someone that could talk, but he could wrestle too, guys. Obviously, MJF's going to win. Bryan Danielson sadly won't, but I will say this is why Bryan Danielson, he alluded this in the promo, this is why Bryan Danielson came here. He could have stayed in AEW for years, not AEW, WWE, got paid for years, but he didn't because he wanted to fight. He wanted to do all the stuff he did in Ring of Honor, and this is one of those things. So dreams come true. Fight for your dreams and your dreams won't fight for you. By the way, best promo ever. Matt, what do you think?
Okay, yeah. Like everybody's saying, the build up to this has been pretty good. That promo from I think it was 2 weeks ago on Dynamite, where MJF brought up his fiance, where he tells Bryan Danielson that every time you step in the ring, you're saying that wrestling's more important than your family, something that I'll never have. That wasn't a heel promo. That was a supervillain speech. Okay. And this is, MJF, amazing talent. From day one in AEW, we knew that he was going to be a guy who was going to get where he is now. After this program and this match, I don't think his detractors are going to be able to throw out their things like, he's just doing, Roddy Piper in the Carolinas is his shtick. No, this is going to catapult him to that next level of his career. He can hang. It's going to be rough doing it for 60 minutes, but those who have seen him in the ring actually wrestle for longer matches know that he is not, Bryan Danielson, but who is. And he's luckily... he has Bryan Danielson in the ring with him. So that takes care of that. And not only do I see this working out great, this is, again, a little fantasy booking here. If I'm thinking how they do it, I see Danielson going up 2-3 falls before the shoulder kicks in that he had worked on. Or he takes a header into the post. Gosh, with everything that goes on with his head. And then MJF just gets fall after fall at the end and manages to squeak it out. And then who's the man?
Vader. I'm sorry. Knee-jerk reaction.
MJF is the man until the man comes round.
Wow.
Becky Lynch?
Wow, that'd be a hell of a match.
I just
same finishing move.
I just figured it out real quick. His fiance is coming out to help him. That's the ace up the sleeve. Figured it out.
No.
Oh.
I think so. I do. In a similar vein, I think it wouldn't shock me if the Saul thing, because there was reports that it's true, and I could just see them going as far as making it a real life, and then MJF he celebrates with his fiance, handing him something, or she comes out the crowd and big celebration. She came back to me, guys. Top of the world, ma. By the way, I have a question for you guys. Who do you, which is such a piece of shit thing to do. Who did you guys pick for the Samoa Joe Wardlow match?
Wardlow.
All across the board?
Yeah,
Wardlow.
for real.
Okay. All right, interesting.
Are you not picking? Did you think Joe's gonna win?
You got him as next guy up.
Well, because that's something I was just kicking around in my head of like who would be next for him, and Wardlow would be one of those people, I think. And there's a good story there, but they have done such. So let's just get it out of the way. Okay, the people who say that there's been nothing good built in AEW over the past few months in terms of storylines, you need to admit you haven't been watching the show, because this has been built as, everyone started, it's the same MJF thing. Go through the gauntlet of guys. True, it was. He's done it a million times. That's his thing. But the promos here on both sides have been excellent. And Bryan Danielson is an underrated promo guy. The fact you got this father of two, this tree-hugging hippie to drop, just to say he's going to kick your fucking head in on national cable television, shows you he means it. And they have given me pause to be like, who will win this match? Because I could see Bryan Danielson winning this match. Just that, like Moxley has carried AEW throughout all the injuries. He was injured as well, but name a bad Bryan Danielson match or forgettable Bryan Danielson match he's had since he's joined the company in August of 2021. You can't. They've all been excellent. MJF has got to finish off a movie role. You could see him going away for a little bit. But I think ultimately, I can't convince myself that MJF is going to lose this match, because he ultimately has to be the guy. You want to make him, and again, if you say MJF is just a promo, just admit you don't watch. It's okay to admit you don't watch, because every time he gets in the ring, he delivers excellently. Go back to Revolution 2020 or 2021 when he fought Darby Allin. His match with Darby Allin was excellent. It was like the second match on the show. It's maybe one of the great second matches on a pay-per-view history. It's amazing. Go watch it. It's phenomenal. His match with CM Punk last year, excellent. The guy can go. And he will go an hour. This could go down, and I think will go down as one of the great matches in AEW history. This is the match they need as a company, because right now everyone's just giving the flowers to WWE and the bloodline, and everything WWE does is great. And AEW is taking a bit of a black eye because they're not in the limelight as they once were. And I think that this does change the narrative a bit. And I think that once we get Adam Cole, like Rob said, back into the mix, especially after how great and how inspiring his story will be told on this new All Access show, I'm sure. I mean, the guy, again, we didn't think he was even going to be a human being properly, let alone a wrestler. He could be the guy who takes it back. And what better way to do it in All Out, where MJF gets screwed by CM Punk. But, which, hey, greatest trick the devil ever pulled, right? And so I really think MJF goes over here because you need to establish him as the all-around guy. He is, no matter what anyone says, he is Ric Flair. That's who he is. He's not Roddy Piper. He's Ric Flair, and he needs the Ric Flair match to everyone be like, he can do it all. And everyone has to believe it. And that's what you have to do here. And from there, he has a slew of opponents that he can go through, that he can work with, and it'll be great. So he's got Moxley, he's got Cole, he's got Wardlow, he's got, you name it, to bring it in, and they'll all be great matches. So yeah, MJF goes over here. I don't think we get any surprises from CM Punk. I don't think we get any debuts or anything like that. I think we're going to have a straight up MJF win.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Bill, would you say those people that think that MJF is a talk need a new point of view?
I guess there's a joke in there somewhere I should sell for, but yeah, I guess they need a new perspective and point of view. Yes. So I guess you can clip that audio for whatever purposes you may need to manipulate. But yeah, MJF all the way, and I think this is going to go down like every AEW pay-per-view that looks like a little weak on in the build. it comes out in the wash because the performers, it's the athletes in the ring that make it happen.
Yes. And look, Rob, I did it. I did it under 2 hours. You're welcome.
Hit your times, Kim. Hit your times.
So now it's everyone's favorite part of the BCP. The shameless promo. I'm not going first. Warren, tell us about your wonderful show that we all listen to here because we're such a big Warren Hayes mark.
Oh, goodness.
True.
Thank you. First of all, thank you. Thank you for having me, Kimmy, on the show. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for inviting me. And for the great chat. I record the Mr. Warren Hayes show every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. on youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes. I talk about stuff that I find interesting that happened in the week. I review wrestling that I watched. I preview wrestling that I am going to watch. And that's pretty much the essence of it. So I do that every Tuesday. On top of that, I do an AEW review every Thursday as well. Plus smatterings of things here and there. So go check it out, youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes. And I've also started writing again. You can find my pro wrestling opinions over on voicesofwrestling.com. This is brand new and I'm very excited about it. So go check it out. I already have 3 pieces up and I started 3 weeks ago. That's not bad, right? It's not bad, right, Bill? It's not bad.
Oh, it's very good. It's very good.
10 out of 10 for the English major. Matt, tell us about the popbreak.com and all the things you do there.
Last of a dying breed, English majors.
Yes. On popbreak.com, you will find various articles by yours truly on wrestling, music, movies, TV. I am the sock drawer of popbreak.com. I'm also here on the BCP, staying hydrated in a way that amuses Bill to no end.
It's so comically large. Bigger than your goddamn head.
I do it for him. And a reminder from the top of the pod. You'll see it down in the description below on YouTube and other social media. Rally Cap Sports and the GoFundMe for Mr. Jim Phillips. Guys, not everybody can give, but everybody can get the word out.
Yes. So make sure to look at that down below. I guess I'll go. I don't have that many. I wrote down only 5, guys. This is a big deal for me. Way to go. So I'm sadly next week working with someone who likes to draw my face a lot. I'm not too happy about it. But big event, New York. There's going to be a lot of people there. Hook's making his first convention appearance. We got the Acclaimed. We got Cody Rhodes, Edge, Charlotte, Ric Flair, Nyla Rose, The Kingdom, Christopher Daniels, a whole bunch of people. So if you want your tickets, go to thebigeventnewyork.com. Like I said, you'll see me with Nyla Rose. I'll probably have marker all over my face, and I'm probably going to cry about it. So definitely just check that out for the fun. Also, March 11th, Warriors of Wrestling is running their huge show in Brooklyn. Joe Bellini is the special guest referee, and I'm kind of scared about that because, I don't know. Poor Joe's getting rice and beans in his face. I feel bad for him. I have to talk him through therapy every week to calm him down. I'm telling you, Staten Island independent wrestling is fucking crazy. And not Gail Kim. The Kingdom's gonna be there. Brandon Cutler's gonna be there. Christopher Daniels is gonna be there. So warriorswrestling.com if you want to check that out. I'm starting a new podcast that I just recorded right before this called All Things Honor because I love Ring of Honor so much and the episode was so good I could cry about it. So make sure to check that out tomorrow. I also do 100 million things for the Pop Break and I think Bill wants to literally cry every time I send him an email because I'll send him 2 to 3 a day and I'm like, oh no.
More content, the better.
Okay. And I made my commentary debut last week and I did it. Holy shit.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
And if you want to check it out, you can. I think it's, what was it, Rob? What's the website called?
It's Mobfi TV, the app.
Yeah. So you can check that out there. And then just follow me on Twitter at Kimmy_Sokol. Now, Bill, tell us about the wonderful website you write and all the other cool things you do.
I am the editor-in-chief of thepopbreak.com. Been doing that for the last 14 years. Would love for you to go check that out, thepopbreak.com. If you're wondering, was it named after the movie Point Break? Oh, why, yes, it was. Did I tell Keanu Reeves about that in person? Well, why, yes, I did. He's a wonderful man. Go check us out on Instagram and Twitter, at The Pop Break. I am the co-host of the Socially Distanced podcast. We are currently in our Papa Pedro miniseries where we're talking about The Last of Us and The Mandalorian. It's myself and BCP alumnus Amanda Rivas. She's hosting The Mandalorian. I'm hosting the Last of Us. It's a hell of a time. We'll be doing that for the next 3 weeks. Follow Socially Distanced Podcast. I'm the Bill and the Bill versus the MCU podcast, which you can find on the Pop Break Today feed on all your favorite platforms, where I do a first watch of all things Marvel. Currently, we're going to be talking about Daredevil season 2 because it's March and it's Catholic and it's about guilt. It's perfect for me. I am also the co-host of the TV Break, which we're going to be doing on Pop Break TV. You can find that on that hub. And I do an interview series called Anchored in Asbury, where I interview people connected to the rich cultural heritage of Asbury Park, New Jersey. And I believe this month we'll be talking to the guys from Prestige Wrestling, who are going to be doing a show at a wonderful venue called House of Independence. And Murder Grandpa himself, Minoru Suzuki, will be there. I'm going to try and convince him to eat corned beef with me. That's going to be a delight, because you know why? I bet you he'll do it. Finally, wait. Oh, I don't fucking know. I still write for the popbreak.com. I just wrote the Mandalorian season 3 premiere. Spoilers, I had some issues with that episode, so go check out what they were. Rob, this is your podcast. Why don't you promote your girlfriend?
It used to be, yeah, my man. I appreciate that, Bill. First and foremost, Chris and Ashley in the chat saying Bree mode. That just popped me. Amazing. I put the links to the charities that Matt mentioned again.
She comes out
in the chat. Got to shout out the Vicious One. Guys, support indie wrestling. Support the girl, Vicious Vicki. Big comeback right now, riding that wave. Just real quick, thank you guys for everything on the Pop Break.
Is that a euphemism, Rob?
Oh gosh, thank you guys for everything on the Pop.
DM between me and him. I'm just like, Rob, is that a euphemism or something? And he's just like, stop.
Oh boy, you guys trying to embarrass me. Thank you guys for everything on the Pop Break. Warren, thank you for making the time, making the save here. The ratings go up when Warren Hayes is on. Man, he's the main eventer, the A+ player here on the BCP. And Kimmy, congratulations on your commentary debut.
We'll see y'all for WrestleMania.
Oh, hell yeah. Mike's not allowed.
Oh, where I get to talk shit about WWE.
That too. But again, Mike's not allowed, so screw him. He's not good enough.
Jesus Christ, are we still in the air?
I hope we were. Were we?
Do you want to take us out? Kim, you taking us out?
I hope he saw that, because he was in a live chat before. I really hope he saw that. So from Kimmy Takeover and the rest of my wonderful guests, we will see you next time for the next Kimmy Takeover, where we're going Hollywood, guys.